Emerald Coast Baseball Academy podcast number 4. Got on the guest Caleb Weatherington. Caleb, how you doing? Good to see you.
Doing good.
Caleb's actually at work right now, amateur bodybuilder. First, I want to start off and talk about the sponsor of the podcast, Born in the Cage Apparel. You can go to borninthecage.com. They got a bunch of baseball shirts. We got a brand new line coming out here in just a little bit. This is one of my personal favorites, Born in the Bullpen, little backwards K right there. They have some pitcher stuff too. We got some more things coming out with them. I'm excited. They've got hats. Go to the website. You can like them on their Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter. Just search Born in the Cage. Everything will come up on there. Also, go to my website, emeraldcoastbaseballacademy.com. I've got the other videos, the other podcasts. You can check out all that, the good information, and the stuff we're going to get there. You can check me out on Instagram, Twitter, JSintez34, or Facebook, emeraldcoastbaseballacademy.com. Caleb, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. You and I talked about this a couple of times. A little introduction. Caleb doesn't know this, but I feel like Caleb is my guy. If you feel like you ever have a guy, this is my supplement, large human being guy. This is my dude. Caleb knows that, I was going off to Mexico, and he and I talked about a couple things, and he helped me come up with this plan about, I was really worried about the heat down in Mexico, and we came up with this plan to combat the heat and kind of an intra-fuel kind of situation that I was really excited about. So, Caleb, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me, buddy.
Awesome. So, let's just start off at the beginning. You're 6'11", 405 pounds, right?
Yeah, in my dreams, and I got wings. I can fly. And I shoot freaking lightning bolts out my ass and stuff. So, a monster. I mean,
No, you're a giant human being, obviously. There we go. I enjoy following you online. You're always putting stuff out there that's good quality information. And one of the reasons, when I'm going through lessons and I'm talking to other people, I hear so much different information. But for me, visually, or even when I'm doing any kind of coaching, if you can do what you say, or you look like what you say, that you have to be doing something right. So that's why I've always looked at you and been like, well, he's much larger than I am, so he's obviously doing something different. So let's find out what it is. So that's one of the big reasons why I wanted to have you on.
Well, a lot of the things I hear, especially working in a nutrition store, is I can't gain size, I can't get bigger, I can't. And then my first question, it always is, how is your diet? And then their response, oh, it's great. Oh, it's great. And I'm like, okay, I get that all the time. So that's a usual anyway. So let's break it down. What'd you have for breakfast this morning? And it's never good. So I had a bowl of cereal and a granola bar. Like, okay, well, where'd you get protein out in that meal? And what cereal did you eat? Because it's probably chemical altered. There's nothing in there nutritionally that can make your body grow anyway. So what I'm trying to get at is, yeah, it's like the iceberg effect where, yeah, you got this giant mass of ice sitting above water that tore the Titanic up, but it was what was beneath there, the mass underneath, the 90% of it, the food, fuel, body fuel. Whether you're running, whether you're building mass, whether you're trying to lean out, your food is your fuel. And I cannot stress that enough. I want a pill that makes me this. I want a pill that makes me that. There is no pill that makes you anything. It's you. It's your hard work. It's your dedication. Dedication is a percentage of it. I would give it top 5%. That is it. Because you need most nutrition is in your food, what you're consuming, what you're cooking, what you're taking with you throughout the day.
Awesome. And obviously people don't know you're a passionate guy. You and I always get off into nice rants and stuff, and that's why I always felt I trust someone that's about as passionate with what they do, and I'm the same way about it. So I'm excited to have you on. I'm pumped.
Absolutely. And I don't know. I'm not trying to come off as an ass to people though. It's like I really want to understand what they think is right.
Yeah.
And whether they take it and want to learn from it or not. I mean, I want to dish out the information anyways. And 9 times out of 10 they'll respect you for telling you the truth. Exactly. But you want to get offended over something somebody told you because it was the real deal, you needed to hear it anyways.
The truth hurts sometimes, right?
Absolutely, man.
All right, so let's get into your history of how your gigantism is started here. let's go ahead and make the people not think that you're too crazy, and that you're a meathead, which there's nothing wrong with that. I think that everybody needs to have some meathead in them. But so you're from the area, right? You're from Northwest Florida?
Pretty much raised in Fort Walton Beach. I mean, I was a Midwestern boy born in Nebraska, so I got most of my stature from the Midwest. Corned beef, corn fed. Yeah. But no, man. I mean, a lot of people want to throw genetics in there. I was one of those blessed with genetics from some 7th to over 200 pounds since the 8th grade. Okay, I started lifting weights in the 7th grade. It's where I really found out I really love lifting weights and everything like that. But I saw that because my grandpa was such a hard worker, and I saw what he did and what he was able to attain, even at a 70-year-old, physique. And I looked up to my grandfather because the hard work ethic, and you don't get anywhere without that ethic.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I got my start with that.
All right. So pretty much the 7th grade. So maybe 13, 12, or 13 around there.
13, 14 years. I started lifting weights. Yes.
Okay. So when did you start getting serious with it? Because I mean, maybe not 12, 13. But
yeah, because those age, I mean, you're working out, you're at school, it's a class anyways. I mean, I enjoyed the class. We even competed against the high school team sometimes in powerlifting and stuff. So, I mean, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. So it wasn't something that I'm sure back then it wasn't as important to me, but as the years progressed and you see the difference in your body and you see the body changing and the different hormones that are effective as you get older while you're training, it shapes your body, and it's exciting. It's very exciting. Damn it, I lost my train of thought on that one.
It was when did you get serious?
Oh, seriousness, with bodybuilding and the nutrition aspect and everything like that, I got serious about 2010, late 2010 into 2011 and on, because that's when I did my first competition, was in 11. And anybody that has ever competed can back me on this. It's all about your diet.
Yeah.
It's all about your diet when you cut. It's food. Food is your fuel. And you want to keep as much lean muscle mass on that you build in the off season as you can bring onto the stage. And you're only able to maintain that through a proper diet.
Gotcha. And that's what, yeah, one of the things I wanted to ask you too, because I had, there's this funny little trend, and when I'm doing lessons and stuff, and I see, like you're talking about the cornbread kid, the bigger kid, normally when you see in baseball, you see that bigger, maybe slightly bigger, rounder kid that has more power. He may not be the fastest kid, but he has more power. And then you see that kid maybe goes through a spurt or leans out a little bit, and he keeps that power, but his muscle size goes down. And I actually had a big debate with a guy in Mexico. We were talking about muscle size and how sometimes you'll see guys like that are kind of a little bit bigger fat content, but when they do start cutting weight, their muscles actually become smaller. Now, does that make them? Is that true? Possibly just a little bit, or is that just because you're just losing fat in between?
No, I mean, now that all comes with the proper dieting, and to lose the fat and to maintain the muscle mass, the lean muscle mass. Yes, you'll see a reduction in arm size, chest size, all that, but you're reducing the fat. You're not reducing the muscle mass.
Yeah.
And if you reduce the size of it, it's going to reduce strength size. But you also got to notice that man probably lost 30 to 40 pounds of fat. So where he lost all that fat and all that lean muscles there, he's tremendously stronger than this person that is the same weight as him that has been that lean for that long, because they've had to condition their body to carry more weight. It's conditioning too. Conditioning is a big factor in all this.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I did notice. Like when I was, I got one particular kid that I've been working with, and he is a little bit of bigger stature, but he's the most explosive player that we have. Now, he definitely knows that he needs to work, and it's definitely a diet thing, is that, the parents know. But I'm saying maybe even for that time right now, because he's just turned 12, he's just moving up, that I really don't even mind it for that, just in the simple fact because he hasn't really started working out too much, and that was one of the questions I want to ask you also. But his power, his control, and his ability to do exactly what he wants, besides the sprint part, everything else is perfect. So it's a hard question. Do you think that he would be better off trying to lose that weight, or just continue to stay the explosive power? Because that's a lot of people think that they might lose explosive power by dropping body fat percentage because those muscles get a little bit small?
I don't think it would be that. I don't think he'll lose that much power. To be honest with you, that power is something his body's conditioned to have regardless.
Yeah.
Now, what's going on with his body is he's just not getting the proper intake of food. He's 12 years old. He lives with mom and dad. You know, there's probably a lot of packaged, processed shit he gets to eat. Okay, so it's not controlled. Now, and he's eating that lean diet, he can still have that same explosive power because that good nutrient flooded food is going to fuel his body to have that same power and fuel it better because it's more effective. What's going to run better in your car? Is it going to be the regular gas or is it going to be your premium?
Okay, so let's get specific
which is more
with
efficient.
that. Let's get specific with that. If there was let's say there were three nighttime meals you had to cook for, or three meals that you would recommend. It really doesn't even matter on the time frame. Can you take me through something for maybe even portion the protein, what you're looking for and stuff like that, down to, because I hear that's one of the one of the things when you do research on the internet and stuff, like you see stuff where people just and there's nothing wrong with the word nutrition or nutrients or stuff, but no one's being specific. No one's going to do this. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just eat this, this, and this. Keep working these in and like that, and you just don't hear those things. You hear the generalities of it.
I mean, when it comes to diet, when it comes to nutrition, the lean is what I think. I think chicken breast. I think chicken in general. Chicken is a very lean poultry. You know what I'm saying? Whether you don't do chicken breast all the time and you have a thigh or leg, bake that sumbitch, grill it up, whatever. Take the skin off. Okay, it's still a healthy meal. You want. Now, with the guy that's trying to lose the weight and maintain the structure of the larger person, that explosiveness, now, yeah, he's going to want to consume more protein to maintain that lean muscle that he has that is larger right now. So, yeah, I would recommend, where the general, if you're going to try and stay and maintain a lean, like really, the guy's fast, agile, and all that, he's going to consume enough protein to maintain that weight he is at. Okay. Now, the big guy, he wants to sustain more of that muscle mass and still see the lean fat loss. He's going to have more protein servings, more grams of protein during the day than somebody who's just trying to maintain what they have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he's trying to maintain and keep as much of that size on, so he's going to do more protein in his diet. So where somebody's getting a gram per pound of lean body mass there, he's probably going to get about 1.5 grams to 1.8 grams to really help him sustain that larger muscle mass. So the protein's important. Carbohydrate intake. Carbs are 40% of muscle gains. Carbs cause insulin spike. Insulin is the most powerful hormone the body produces for growth, period. Now you want to stabilize the secretion of those hormones. Now, when you throw those cane sugars, alternatives, different things like that cause stupid insulin spikes and don't use any of that, the body stores it as fat. Now, where he could have had an oatmeal, and that's a slow digested carb. It would have sustained in his system. He would have had sustained energy. He'd be feeling good. He's got fiber, and they got to pause it.
I lost you for a second there, Deal. You were saying right before this that you were saying 40% of your body's hormone increase comes from carbohydrates. Well, what carbohydrates were you going in on that?
Well, carbohydrates are going to account for 40% of muscle gain, so you need carbs to build muscle as well as proteins. You need fiber as well to process the protein so that the high protein intake isn't stored as fat. So, I mean, it's a combination of macronutrients your body must use to run efficiently. Now, carbs, like you're going into your game, your baseball game during the so in the morning, what you could do is I would wake up, high protein diet. I would have protein in my diet right off the bat. So, and it, depending on your weight. Now, if you're a big guy like I am, I'm 230, 240 plus pounds. I'm hitting about 10 to 12 egg whites. Now, I'm not saying the yolks are bad, but because you need those fats, but you have to control your fat intake as well. So, where I'm getting high protein from my eggs, I'll go ahead and have a fat source through my almond butter. Now, almond butter is an excellent source of healthy fats. Okay, now misconception is, any kind of peanut butter, that's a protein. No, it's not a protein source. It's a fat source. There's protein in it. There's protein in a lot of things. There's protein in carbohydrates. That's still not a protein source. So if you're going off I eat peanut butter all day, I'm getting all my protein, and you're getting tons of fats in your system. So yeah, I would have you some like a good cup of oatmeal. That's a slow digestive carb. It'll get in there, get your fiber in there with your high protein, and that'll fuel you, give you a good energy kick. And like I said, with that slow sustained carbohydrate, it'll sustain in your system. Now, pregame, what I would do pregame, I would still get you a good protein source, probably lower that a little bit, and increase the carbs for that meal because your carbohydrates are basically your energy food for your fuel for your workout because it pancreas induces insulin. Insulin is the most powerful. I fucked that all kinds of up. Damn it, I didn't forgot where I was going with that.
You were saying pancreas increases insulin.
No, it's not your pancreas. Yeah, pancreas is what processes sugars and creates the insulin, which fuels the body, gives you the pump, all that kind of stuff. Damn it. So pregame, what I would do, so you have plenty of glycogen getting into your system quicker, rather than the oatmeal that you had in the morning. I would go ahead and maybe have you some white rice. Now white rice is brown rice, but it's processed brown rice. So that slow digestion that they would go through with brown rice is not going to be there with the white rice. It's absorbed faster, it's used faster. So during your game, when you're out there running, you're sweating, you're using those carbs, you don't have to worry about it storing as fat because your body will expend those carbs, those sugars, and it will not allow you to store them in fat. So you do the higher carb. So what I would do is probably a 40-60 on your carb and protein, 40% protein, 60% carbohydrates pre-game, and have some healthy fats in there too. What I like to chew, I like almonds a lot. I like almond butter. I like just almonds in general, roasted. What other, and then you get your fish oils in and everything like that, supplementation. But ultimately, your whole foods are so much better for your body than supplementation.
Yeah.
So and then like a post-workout meal, and even you could go supplementation post-workout. So say meal you get off, you're getting right off the field and you're done with the game or whatever you're doing. I'd drop about 30 to 40 grams of whey protein isolate. Now, whey is whey. Okay, isolate isn't. People screw this up all the time. Isolate is just a filtering process. Concentrate is a filtering process. Hydroxylate is a filtering process. Okay? So the best of those is hydroxylate. Now, second to that would be isolate. Third to that is concentrate. Concentrate being 60% pure. So when you buy a concentrate-based whey protein, which I'm about to just explain to you all, and how do you look at the back of your protein bottles and figure out if you're getting screwed over or if you're paying too much with what you're purchasing. So basically, let me do this for you. It's one of the products we do carry at MaxFit. One of my favorites. It's your Intake Protein Evolution Isolate.
That's the one that you had me take, and I really like this one also.
Yes.
So you're saying, and I'm a 200-pounder. I'm about 208, 210 right now, and I'm excited because I've dropped a lot of body fat following a lot of your advice, and I've been getting a lot more into that style of stuff with more food and stuff like that. So you're saying with this particular the Intake Evolution right there, how many scoops per is that? Is it?
With Intake, you'll get about 30 grams of protein per one scoop of protein.
So you're saying one scoop right there is good enough for me?
That is high amount of protein. 30. That, not only that, but it's in a whey. A whey is fast absorbed. It's one of the most bioavailable protein sources you can take for post-workout recovery. So basically, when you go in there and you're looking at the protein source, it says, I get 28, 30 grams of protein a serving, and realize that they are real lies. Because if the first listed ingredient is a concentrate whey, it's a poor processed protein. Okay, so concentrate is filtered through heat. Heat damages the peptides. So if it says you're getting 30 grams of protein, I'd say you're probably getting at most 12 to 15. So what you're paying for is an inferior product. Plus, most people will upset their stomach on a concentrate protein.
So someone who goes to, let's say, a GNC or a Walmart or probably those bigger chain places, would you say that they're getting a different type of protein rather than the mom and pop place like MaxFit?
Well, see, with the mom and pop place being like us, we can pick and choose what products we bring in here, and we only bring in what we feel is quality and what will help our customers. We're not GNC, and we'll put it in there because we can sell it because it's a big magazine push. One of the biggest brands that GNC pushes, BSN, and we've had many a conversation with
Yes,
those wonderful products and their untold amount of sugars they have, and they're not listed.
Or Intrivil, what was it?
I can't even think. It was like
trivial amount of sugar.
Trivial amount of sugar. Like, what does that even mean? Like, can you put a gram to that? I don't understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's bullcrap. And he said trivial amount of sugar at the very bottom of that list, at the very, very bottom of the ingredients list, and it wasn't even listed in the nutritional facts that it had sugar in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's some high quality BSN. Here, I'll show you how to read the ingredients list, and so that you'll understand later on if you can't come see me at MaxFit or get some more quality products, that you won't get screwed over in buying a terrible product.
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, everybody, anybody who's in the Panhandle area, you guys, where are all your stores? You're in Fort Walton.
We're in Fort Walton Beach. We're in Pensacola. We're in Pace, Florida. We are in Panama City, Navarre, right along the Panhandle. Coming soon to Tampa. Should be in Tampa here soon too.
Well, and we'll put Caleb's information out in the video description and where you can follow him. And if you guys have any questions, email him. You know, he's a great information source for anybody out there that's looking to do, you know, it's anything. And I've bounced some ideas off him. And my biggest gains that I've made, and really helped me maintain velocity and increase size, and because I'm at that point when I was growing up, it was a little bit different with the weightlifting thing for baseball, where I actually went to some big time camps where they told me to not lift as much, or they were saying lightweight, high reps, try to stay explosive. You don't want to get too big, you don't want to lose your flexibility. And I'm at that point in my career now where I'm seeing guys that are much larger than me doing more impressive things than me, and now it makes sense. And I'm like, why did I wait so long to get, you know?
Go look up Ronnie Coleman on the Olympia stage at 300 pounds shredded muscle doing splits, and tell me that man, or you can't get a man that's bigger to move like a man that's smaller.
Exactly, and that's where I think that, you know, one of the things that really helped me with this year is I got into a routine of being able to work out, and for you may not recommend it, but for the time strain that I was on, I understood when I needed to taper down my workouts. I would work out really hard, full body. I would try to spend almost 2.5, 3 hours in the gym doing full body to give myself full recovery leading up to my next start. And then I would taper down my workouts. I would do big legs. And when I say full body, I don't mean a lot of stuff, but I would do squats, deadlifts, lunges. I would do lat pull down, all the stuff that I used that I felt like would
for throwing
me up,
right,
and get into my next start. That way I'd start my recovery process. I always looked at it as a new week until my next start. Like that night after I pitched, or the next morning when I got up, it was like new week starts now. I got to get ready for the next one. And so that I had gotten to an awesome routine. And I really liked how I got into the only day I wouldn't go to the gym and do something extensive would be the day that I pitched. I would still go to the gym the day before I would pitch, but I would do a lot more light, do some shoulders, flexibility, do some core.
Not doing too much of anything to make you really sore or hurting the next day, just to get the blood flowing and moving.
The next day, I'm still keeping my, my hormones and everything's up, and I'm ready to go. And then that day, I'm using that workout as actually playing the game. So I was excited about finding that routine myself, and that's different for me. Some guys couldn't do it. There were younger guys that were on my team that were 6-7 years younger than I did that could not do it the way I did. They even said and I said, look, I had been doing this before and it worked, and now I'm just stronger and figured it out. So.
And it all comes in conditioning. They might not be able to do it now, but hey, 3 to 6, whatever months from now, they may be able to do it. It's how bad do you want it?
Exactly.
And a lot of that too.
Exactly. So awesome. Let's move on. That was a good rant, even with a little distraction there. Okay, so one of the things that you and I got into, that there's a question that I've been asked, and I've heard different things on this, and I'll ask you a few things and I'll let you run with it because I know you're passionate about this one. I heard something, and I know I'm going to frustrate you because we already had this conversation a little bit. I heard someone tell me that the reason why they didn't want their child to start lifting weights is because it was going to stunt their growth. And to me, I didn't understand where their thought process was coming from, and they explained to me that They said that, well, when you start lifting weights, your muscles become shorter, and it inhibits the growth of the limbs and the bone growth plates, and you're pulling and this and that. And so so first we'll address that. Then I want to know, when do you think is a good time to start kids lifting weights? Now, obviously, technique becomes huge always in lifting weights, and especially from the beginning. And when do you think is good? Now, when do you think that if you have started lifting even earlier than when you did, do you feel like you may even have even more of an advantage? Go ahead.
No, I think people just love to not do anything, and they don't want. They're little Johnny, this and that, and America's just sissies nowadays, man. Man, get your kids off the couch and stop playing video games, and let them go out and run and pick themselves up, and run and fall down and pick themselves up. Whether you like that or not, they're lifting. Yeah, that takes muscle. It takes a push. It takes a pull. It takes a movement. You're using muscle regardless. You're breaking down muscle fibers. You're rebuilding them constantly. And when you do this, there's natural testosterone growth hormone release. So why would that stunt anybody's growth? I'm about 6'1", and I started lifting weights in 7th grade. When you're growing the most, your hormones are peaking. You're 13, 14 years old. You got hairs poking out everywhere. You're growing, and you hate everyone. You love everyone. I started lifting then, people, they just love to be lazy. It's what I like, especially in America, most of the time anyways. But no, I don't, and to be honest, to get them out there and get athletic, they don't have to lift weights. Get them out there at 4 and 5 years old, 6 years old, and have them running and playing soccer and doing different activities so that this will make their bodies stronger. It'll give them a better immune system. It'll make them recover better. These allergies, problems, because these kids aren't going outside and taking on the different things that their bodies have to develop something to break, stop from. It's people frustrate me a lot.
And I know this is a sensitive subject. You've got a fairly young child yourself, and it's one of the things I was interested in, asking you, because I've heard that before, and then looking back at my history on it, and I actually was influenced by a big-time college program, that same situation, where they said, don't lift weights, you don't want to get too big. Baseball guys aren't very big, and then that was right at the beginning of this evolution, where next thing I know, I see Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa, giant dudes, and then what you didn't see was actually the giant guys that were throwing the baseball, and that's what I didn't understand either. They were much bigger, Sammy Sosa, McGwire, they were much bigger than most of those guys. But, whether they took things that they shouldn't have or not, that doesn't mean you take things and you just suddenly become giant. You still have to do the work.
Oh, God, yeah. You still have to eat. You still have to train. You still have to grow these muscles. People think they can just shoot shit in their ass and then there's like magic overnight. They got freaking muscles like Ronnie Coleman. They're going to be the next Olympian. No, I'm going to let you know that don't work like that. It takes hard-ass work. It takes dedication. It takes every day when you wake up to be excellent. You have to wake up and piss excellence every day to look like these freaks. And that's why they look like they do. Now, you might be the avid, guy, go to the gym and everything, but you're not going to be the freaking elite athlete. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but these guys are better at being them than you are, okay? So regardless, you want to throw steroids, you want to throw performance enhancing, whatever. Freaking LeBron James has got LASIK eye surgery. How's that performance enhancing? Suck it. It's altering the body to make it better, right?
Yeah, I agree. And I've heard the argument too that possibly supplement vitamins could be performance enhancing because your system's operating better. You're getting the nutrients that you need. You're running better.
Oh, it runs efficiently.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because we can't dumb you down with FDA drugs and mask problems because you want to be a better fit you.
Awesome. All right, so now do you, and I personally know if I would have started lifting even in 7th grade, I feel like I would have been a completely different athlete. And I feel like possibly, I peaked late, but I feel like looking back on it, the reason why I peaked late is that's when I started lifting. I didn't start really lifting until a little bit, like I took a class like you did in high school my senior year, and that kind of got me a little addicted to it. But in the same sense, I was so far behind, and everybody was so ruthless like they are in high school.
Yeah, and you were just kind of like, screw it, I'm behind.
Yeah, exactly. And then I would just go play the game of baseball, and they couldn't hang with me there. So that was different. I was like, well, why would and I didn't really. It was hard for me being a small town guy because we really are a small town. The expansion, getting outside of that, is one of the big things that I've always tell parents and that they in this area, even the whole even the Pensacola area, the Tallahassee area, you don't understand what it's like to be around a big giant elite group of kids until you go to these bigger cities, these Atlantas, these Orlandos, and they don't stop playing, they don't stop training, and you hear people, oh, well, we need to shut him down from playing because we don't want to overtrain him, this and that, and like you were just saying before, no, don't shut him down. Just
feed him.
He needs to take.
He needs to feed. You train really hard, eat really hard. You just recover from it.
Yeah, exactly. He needs to take a break of one portion of it, but move into the training or changing sports or whatever. But he can't stop. He can't just
no, because you stop, then you stop maintaining.
Exactly.
You can't maintain what you do not maintain. If that makes any sense,
it does,
right?
Yeah.
You can't.
Perfect.
Let it go is going to go. You have to maintain it every day.
Hindsight's 2020. Do you feel like seventh grade region was a good place to start, or could you?
God, yeah. I mean, even if I would have started in sixth grade, it would have been phenomenal. Now, fifth grade, I don't even know what the hell lifting weights was. I don't think. And I get to, I go into middle school, and kids are playing sports and they're lifting weights, and I'm like, what is all that stuff? And I see my grandpa doing it. I want to do that, and it intrigued me, and I got in there, and I was addicted to the pump ever since.
Ooh, the pump.
The pump.
There we go. There's one of the questions I wanted to ask you. You always talk to me about the pump, and I finally figured out what it was this year, because I always hear guys talk about, you want to feel the pump when you're working out. First of all, let's identify what is happening when you hear all of these guys. What is the pump? We need to identify this term.
Okay, when you go to lift weights, anything, if you're going to pick something up with weight, in general, it's going to be easier if your muscle's larger to pick up that weight. It has to adapt to pick it up, right?
Okay.
So what the body does is it floods blood to that area, and it creates a pump. It fills it full of blood, so that muscle's bigger, larger, fuller of water, so that you can continuously pick that weight up and rep it out. That's what the pump is. And you can get a better pump through vasodilators. Vasodilators only open up the blood vessels, allow more circulation of oxygen and blood through the system to allow for a better pump. And the pump basically is that skin tearing feeling under the muscle when you're hitting arms.
Yeah, that itch that you want to get your face a little bit.
Like,
Matter of fact, you helped me with that. You supplemented one of my pre-workouts. I'm a big pre-workout fan, and the name of the product, or is it brand? The name of it was arginine, right? And,
arginine, AKG. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so I added that to my pre-workout. By the way, completely different result. Was very excited, and I'm almost scared to go full scoop on it. By the way, because I did a half scoop like we were talking about, and I got that little it's getting. But when I lifted, I felt I got way more done. My reps were cleaner. I was able to do my explosive stuff and stop at the top like we were talking about too, trying to hold it a little bit longer. It was definitely better.
You're more effective when there's more oxygen, there's more blood being transferred more efficiently to the body, and the arginine those blood vessels allow to do that. Now, you can get arginine in a pre-workout if it's in a proprietary blend. You don't know how much they put in there, or if they even put it in there at all. Yeah. And the proper dosing for arginine AKG, for you to even convert over to a gram of sulfate, is 3 gram serving. If you're not doing a 3 gram serving or more, then you're not even getting the full benefits of arginine at all. And people miss that all the time, and they miss it in these pre-workouts constantly, specifically when you put too much caffeine in these things. If you put too much caffeine, not only that, then you don't put a taurine in there where it stabilizes caffeine, and you're not putting enough arginine in there, you're constricting the blood vessels. And that's not what you want for the workout.
Gotcha. I gotcha. Awesome. That's great. That's outstanding. All right, let's move on. That was a perfect segue. We could probably package that up and put it on your MaxFit website.
Yeah, right. Just free advertisement for you some more.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we were going over the Intake again. Do you feel like, now I'll give you an example with myself, and one of the things, a strategy that I was thinking, and something that I've done sometimes being an athlete, especially you have these guys going and playing tournaments and stuff, you got to run and do your best job of getting, whatever you can to eat in between games. And I wanted to ask you about one other thing. What should athletes, when they go into the store and start looking at all these different protein containers, right? Let's say we have a high school guy and he's a little undersized and he thinks, he sees all the advertisements and everything and they're saying, go get protein, eat this and that. Besides the nutrition side of eating the food, and you said, what, you think it's 80 to 90% is really the nutrition, right?
Yep,
so just
absolutely.
The eating right, getting the lean proteins, the stuff like that, and then from there, getting what should they be looking for exactly in their proteins?
In like a supplementation protein?
Yeah, exactly, in a supplementation protein.
Well, I'm gonna break it down. As far as just like a simple protein to take post workout. Whey protein isolate's excellent, especially if you can do dairy. And plus, they make isolates that are lactose free, so you can do the wheys without having the lactose problems. Now, when you go to purchase a product like that and you want a good whey protein, you always want not only to look at the amount of protein you're getting in a serving and the sugars, but you also want to just go onto the ingredients list in general, and that's usually listed under the nutritional facts. And now, the first listed ingredients in the ingredients list is the majority of the product. So the first listed ingredient is what makes up most of the product. So when you go into GNC or any of those other, turnkey, open up the store and read the front of the bag to you and tell you this is what you need kind of store, and you don't know what you're talking about, you're going to get sold crap all day long that they're making commission off of anyways. So I'll break it down. I'm going to show you guys how to look at the ingredients list of your wheys and protein in general and see if it's even a quality and if you're actually going to be paying a decent amount, because you can get this whey protein isolate we carry for $46.99. It's damn near 30 grams of protein a serving, and it's high quality. It's high quality. But yeah, basically what you want to look for is the first listed ingredient to be either isolate or hydrolyzed whey protein. Those are the top-notch 99-96% pure protein filterings. So basically, try to break this into here so I can see it and you can see it and everybody can see it. Can you see it pretty well?
It's a little crooked there. Rotate the camera. There we go. All right.
Let me see. My phone's charged just enough. I can probably take it off the charger now. Okay, see, this is one of my favorite products. We carry Intake Isolate Whey Protein. This is excellent for your right after a workout recovery time. 28 grams of protein, sweetened with stevia. It's not going to be overloaded with sugars or anything like that. And it's also gluten-free, so for use with the gluten allergies. And then those of you that are just on the gluten, I'm not gluten anymore, and you don't even understand that it's gluten-free.
What is
we'll go into gluten another day. Let's try and get it on there as good as I can. Let's see. Can you read that?
Barely, but yeah.
It's just
so
the
it's
way.
right below the nutritional fact, is what you're saying.
Yes, the nutritional facts. It's right under there. You see it?
Is that the other ingredients?
Other ingredients. Can you see it?
Yep.
You see where it says special ultra non-denatured ultra high quality whey protein isolate?
Yeah.
Now look at all the descriptive words in there. Look at all of those. What do we got here? Ultra filtered, non-denatured, ultra high quality. What does that mean? It's high quality. That means you're going to get 28 to 30 grams of protein in a serving, and your body will digest, process, and use it for recovery in the best way. A lot of people's stomach get tore up on that crappy concentrate, and that's just one of the ways you can go ahead and know if you're getting a good isolate or a good post-workout protein in general. It's as simple as learning how to read the ingredients. I'm not. I don't know everything. I'm not, master nutritionist. I do have education in this. I'm passionate about it. I'm always learning. And if you're not learning, then you're not furthering yourself anyways. I'm not saying I have all the answers, but I'm very knowledgeable and very passionate in what I do. So if I'm wrong in anything and I'll be made right, and I'll admit it. But like I said, I'm very passionate in what I do, and I like to educate people on the stuff that I know, because I know at one point I didn't understand it all. And it's very beneficial to learn and know all this stuff, and
Well,
it'll
that's
only
what the
help you
whole
in the
point of
long
the podcast is one of the things that, I figured may not to start being able to, to getting straight to the kids to find the information, but if we can get a couple dads and to understand what they're trying to do, and we can educate him, and then he can help his son and get the proper amount of nutrition and the supplementation and make sure they're taking the right things. And look, you're much larger than I am. I'm 6'2", 205, 208, fluctuating depending on my binge food, addiction, my cheat meal, depending on how it is, and
Oh, I
everything.
have
But
my epic cheat meals as well, bro.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So, like I said, you've been my guy. I don't even know if you were my guy, but I've sent people. I'm like, there's a giant man that works at this place, Max Fit Nutrition. Go find him, and he has to be doing something better than you are. So that's my
Right.
whole thought process on the thing is listen to the giant people that lift giant weights and move things around. So
And proof's in the pudding, man.
exactly, exactly.
You know
All
what I'm
right,
saying?
one last question, or I got a couple more questions, but I was talking about explosive. You and I were talking about explosive power, and I know the bodybuilding style of working out, or at least my interpretation is to isolate certain muscles and work those certain muscles out one at a time. As opposed to what I've seen a lot more online with these workouts, which is more of a full body explosive workout. Personally, I think just me, I think that it's the combination of the two can help you. But do you feel
Absolutely.
like maybe, what do you think about that theory of, there's two theories that I've heard. It's I just want to move, for example, like I've seen guys that just do kettlebell and medicine ball workouts where they just do that, trying to make, because I like to define a baseball player as a core rotational power athlete with a little bit of linear movement depending on where it is. If it's hitting, it's linear, explode, rotate. Sprint, possibly a little bit, most of it's short. The pitching is linear, explosion, rotate. So, what do you feel like is a better workout, or do you have any suggestions or anything that comes to mind that maybe that we could add some more explosive power?
No, I mean you're going to need the agility training to begin with. And those people that want to do the multi-circuit training workouts. It's very popular nowadays. The HIIT training, high intensity interval training, and it's one of the most effective ways to become um, conditioned, and to have the agility and all that, and be able to run and be able to move with its weight, but to be conditioned with that weight. High intensity interval. It's the best way for fat loss too. You'll burn calories and fat for hours after that kind of training session. But you want that agility, you want that speed, but you also want the power as well. So you can train these different ways throughout the week. So you're not staying, and you're not training the same way every week to week. It's constantly confusing the body, constantly keeping it up to date. So I think a combination of both those kinds of exercises, explosiveness and power, plus the agility, the HIIT training. I mean, it's only beneficial to especially an athlete like you. And I even use that kind of stuff in my bodybuilding when I go to lean out. The high intensity interval training really helps me to burn fat effectively. Um, but I also want to maintain lean, large muscle mass. So the power training and everything like that also comes into play. Now the people think, oh, I got to lift a lot of lightweight a lot of times to lose weight. That's no. No, do some cardio and eat right, lose the weight. Okay, it's all. It comes back to dieting, and training's in there, because training's the fun part. You should be in there enjoying that part, because the work is everything you're doing afterwards.
Yeah.
The recovering, the eating, the prepping of the meals, and if you're going that far with it, and you want to get dedicated, so I think a combination of both training styles is excellent for any
Yeah,
athlete.
I really like to switch my. I try to switch low. I saw you've done this before. I've saw some of your Facebook stuff. You change your location of where you work out as well as what you're doing. I think a change of scenery is big too. I've been
Absolutely.
trying to incorporate possibly going
That
to.
Monday groove in the groove. Oh, damn! I'm tired of seeing that person or this place, or it just gets old. So having maybe a couple memberships, if you can. If you can't, oh well. Get outside and do some HIIT training. You don't have to be in the gym to get a workout. Your body's weight, you can use it. You can use it as resistance. But switch it up, man. Make it fun every time you're in there. Make it worth it. Don't leave anything behind.
Awesome. Yeah, I totally agree with that. That's outstanding. Last set of questions. If you had some advice for a young athlete trying to get bigger and stronger, do you have anything quick that maybe you would motivate them or anything from there?
Bigger and stronger quick. That comes with time, man. Consistency, to be honest with you, man. To be honest, when I first started lifting or not lifting, but when I first started competing in bodybuilding in 2011, looks nothing like the way I look now. And it's time. And especially being young and with the hormones your body produces, use it. Time is of the essence. And continually training and consistency is most important, and see those changes.
That's awesome. I did a podcast the other day with a guy, just uploaded it, and it was one thing he was talking about too, about just not stopping at
There's
all.
no quick muscle. There's no. Because whether they want to jump on, illegal stuff or pro hormones or creatine, you'll get an immediate growth off that, but you have to maintain that and continuously maintain that to make that muscle fiber much more dense and heavier and mature. Like I said, from 21 to 25 in my competing, it's a 180 in the way my body looks, the maturity in it.
Oh, I've definitely I was gone for about 5-6 months, and I came back and you looked even bigger. And I'm like,
yep.
Well, who knows what's going to happen in another 6 months? Awesome. And one last question. Do you have any advice for any dads out there of young athletes that maybe can help steer them in the right way, besides coming to see you at Max Fit Nutrition and figure out?
Oh, man, my biggest thing is support your kids, man. What is it? If they're happy, man, don't try to force anything on them. I tell you what, from growing up, man, that force stuff don't work. That makes you want to rebel even more.
Yeah.
Kids want to be happy too, okay? You want to be happy, they want to be happy. There's a medium there. As far as supplementation, a lot of people don't want to listen to dad. Oh, he's dad. Yeah, that's what they get. Besides, you can bring him in here and I can smack him around and tell him that listen to dad. Maybe he knows a little more than you do. But dad, you can educate yourself too. You can get this knowledge. You can educate yourself too, and show your kids that this is scientific. This is the way it works, and this is why I'm suggesting these things, not just because I'm dad. Because because I'm dad means I want to rebel against you. Trust me, at kicking 13, 14 years old, testosterone's through the roof. I don't want to listen to you.
Exactly.
So support them. Make sure they're happy.
I see doing lessons in kids in that range all the time, where dad might be saying the exact same phrase that I am, or repeating what I'm saying. But dad, you don't understand. You're around your son or your daughter the entire day. You get a new medium in front of them. And I'm saying you're saying white, and I'm saying white also. But he's going to listen.
But the way I said that is completely different.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. And perception, too.
You said white this way, but he said white,
this way. And it sounded different. It sounded better to me this way, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Plus, he sees you as a younger person. He sees me as a younger person. They can relate more. That's why. And dad's authority, too.
Yeah, so, I've seen a lot of couple of former big league players have talked about that they'll never coach their son. They'll coach their son to a certain point, and then they'll let somebody else take over because it really hinders the relationship when dad gets too involved.
Absolutely. And I've seen some of these dads get really aggressive and take it like it's them out there on the field, and they're taking it on the kid, man. You know what? He should be enjoying what he's doing. He shouldn't be out there being miserable because that's something you want him to do.
Yeah, that reminds me of a funny little story. My dad coached me all the way up until I was about 13, and then he kind of stepped back and let me do the high school thing, and he just put me in good positions for whatever I needed to do and to try to get better, and we just did our best that we could, and it was funny. I got hurt once in high school that kind of didn't really hinder me playing, but I had to wear a knee brace, and so that I feel like it possibly, guys, back in 2004, if you were wearing any kind of hardware or something like that, and they asked you a question, you were written off. Oh, he's hurt, blah, blah, blah. And so that kind of hurt me in my recruiting situation. So I was able to get to college, and then I actually got severely hurt. I hurt my elbow my senior year of college, and had 2 surgeries over 3 years, and then finally was able to recover, and then just went and tried to rehab and see what happened, see if I could start playing baseball again. And now I'm back fully recovered and playing pro ball again, and it's awesome. But it was
Thanks,
funny,
Jake.
this past off season, my dad had said something funny to me. I would actually drove down south to play in a little tournament for some guys, and my dad said, I haven't seen you throw in a competitive game since college. And I was thinking to myself, I've been playing out west, and I was like, wow, that's right. And he goes, why don't I go with you? We were going to kind of go down, stay the night, come back, which is going to be a quick thing. Why don't I go with you? I need to use some vacation days. So he comes down with me. So I'm pitching this game, doing real well, get to the 9th inning. I get to 2 outs in the 9th inning, get a little fatigued, and I hear my dad yell at me from the stands. And he just said something small like, you're flying open. And it took me back to when I was 13 years old, and he used to yell at me from from coaching and everything. And I just started laughing on the mound. I was like, wow.
There you go.
I'm 28 years old. I thought I was completely calm in the situation. I was cruising through the game, and I had 3-2 count, foul ball, end up walking a guy. And he just felt like there were not that many people in the stands, and just kind of blurted something out. And he must have been, I don't know, 150 feet from me. And he didn't say it out loud, but I recognized his voice over everybody else's. And I just
snap back to reality.
Up my arm. I started laughing. I was like, wow, I got a little anxiety right there from that. I haven't heard that in forever. So I related to that advice that you gave. That's really good.
Absolutely.
Stuff. Well, anybody in the area, get a hold of Caleb. He's Max Fit Nutrition. It's over on Uptown Station on Eglin Parkway. Outstanding store with all kinds of great information. If he's not there, you can ask for him. Caleb, how can people reach you other than going to MaxFit?
I'm on Facebook. Just look me up at Caleb Weatherington. I don't know if I'm on any other kind of force. I think I'm on Instagram. And my Instagram's CW Bodybuilder. So if you want to follow me on there too, I'm there.
Yeah, you put some outstanding, hilarious leg day, arm day kind of photos on there. I enjoy that. You got to get back into that.
If you're not having fun with it, why are you doing it, right?
Exactly.
You got to love what you're doing.
That's exciting. Well, dude, it's been a great time. A lot of quality information. We'll definitely get this going up again. There's a lot of other things I want to talk to you, more nutrition things. You spiked me with some more other keywords, gluten-like things and stuff.
So. Gluten.
Yeah, we'll definitely get up to some of that. Thanks again. I appreciate it. Thanks again to our sponsor, Born in the Cage Apparel. You can check out, also check out Max Fit Nutrition, and you go in there and ask for Caleb. He'll help you out. Reach me, JSantez34, Twitter, Instagram. You can Emerald Coast Baseball Academy on Facebook. Also, subscribe to the YouTube podcast on the YouTube channel. Just type in Emerald Coast Baseball Academy podcast on YouTube. We'll put the links up and everything from there. So thanks again. Appreciate it. It was a great time.